my goodness.
We are live on YouTube.
Oh, we're live. Cool. We guys got a little behind the scenes look at what it takes when we have to like prep ourselves because we're wearing black and lean against something.
Men in Black, especially. That's a good title for a movie.
Ooh, there you go. Well, we're here to show you, get a little bit more in depth with more of Carrie, since Carrie is very close to all of our hearts. So we have some Princess Punch.
Yes, for those of you who have never had Princess Punch, we're going to have it in front of you.
Yeah, we're going to do a little toast to
So
Carrie.
we have brought our, these are the plastic cups that were in the restroom in the Millennium Falcon. And,
in the restroom?
well, you know, for gargling. And
Oh, okay, all right.
So,
much better than what I thought it might be.
oh,
for.
yes, not for that. We don't need samples like that. So we're cracking that up. We're going to do a toast to Carrie. Did you get to see how cool that picture is, though? It is really awesome.
It's a really great Carrie.
And we're about to see if the drink is as good as the can.
Very pink.
It is. We don't get it on our blouse.
Oh, absolutely not. Kevin's just going to off camera stare at me.
To Carrie, may the force be with her always, and with us, and with our little statuette. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we go. Let's see. Fizzy, punchy.
It's definitely
very good.
It's definitely like carbonated punch.
It is,
Mm-hmm.
but it's cool. And I have to say that I never even saw this till the other day, and somebody brought me a can. I said, I have to have that in my collection because I have so many other obscure items, which is why we're all here, is to talk about obscure items. And in fact, we're all kind of like that. We find things that tickle our fancy, right?
Absolutely.
And then you start collecting them. So I have my little area. Now my area is enhanced over many areas because I have inherited a lot of things that belong to my mother and my sister, which sort of means I'm now responsible for yours, mine, and our collections.
Love it.
So a lot of us have that though, right? Did your parents leave you something? Don't let that go to the garage sale.
No.
You know, they had a reason sometimes for collecting that. I've seen some amazing things at garage sales, and I'm saying to people, why are you selling that? That is amazing. Oh, my grandmother collected that. I don't really like, get into it. I encourage everybody to look very carefully at that stuff because you'll never get it back again. My mother collected for a lifetime. Carrie collected for her lifetime, and you can never find this stuff again. And there will only be so many of these or so many of those, and one day it could be gone. Which leads us to the story about the cutout.
This is such a good story. So we want to come back here and talk to you particularly about this Princess Leia cardboard cutout.
We're bringing her forward.
I'm going to do this, that way I'm not blocking the punchline.
So, many years ago, my mother had a hotel here in Las Vegas, and Carrie would come around visiting, and later on, when she had her child Billy, she'd bring Billy, and so Billy and Carrie one day showed up to my office, and Carrie brought this with her, and she put it in my office, and she set it sort of as you walked in my door, and she signed it to me, and if you notice, she put a little arrow here, pointing that that is her, just in case I didn't know that that was her. So that's her little sense of humor with the arrow, like that's me. So she put this in my office, and I thought it was so interesting what I was looking at. I was behind my desk, and I saw this, and then I saw her, and she was laying on my chair, and then Billy was laying on the other chair. So I took this picture right there. So that's an example of what's going to be on our website. Funny little anecdotal stories, cool little pictures. So here's Carrie, there's Billy, my niece, and there's this cutout sitting there. Now you'd think, that's awesome, you saved that thing all these years. Wrong. I didn't save it all these years. In fact, I have no idea where this was for 25 years, and just a few months ago, a guy says, I have a cutout that I bought from the hotel many, many years ago, and it has Carrie's signature on it. I said, really? And he goes, yeah, I bought it from the gift shop. And again, I was like, really? Now, I'm not sure if any of that is true or not, if he bought it or it's stolen or whatever happened, but he said he had it and he took a picture of it, and I compared it to that picture, and I went, that's the one from my office, I have to have that back. Now, I didn't have to threaten to have the guy 86'd or anything of that nature. I made a deal with him and I got it back. So this is an example of collecting where you want to bring things back. I regretted losing it. I don't know what happened. It's like one of those stupid moments in life where you should have been more careful with the collectibles. But it disappeared, but I have brought it home back where it belongs, back where Carrie wanted it. And so here it is, living right next to her little costume and this really cool, beautiful picture of her. In fact, that picture, I've been told, is what was used to model the replica that you've made. And I think that's got to be one of the best Carrie pictures around. So that's a little warm-up to the Carrie stuff. But if we're going to go tell Carrie stories, we should drizzle, drazzle, druzzle, drum, and go back in time, right?
Yeah.
We'll start at the very beginning.
Sure.
So we're going to go this way, and we're going to go to the beginning. Those of you that are bored, this is the time to go to the bathroom. Otherwise, you're going to hear some cool stories. So, Princess Leia, that we see the statue, before she was a full-grown princess yelling in Darth Vader's face, these were the princess's shoes. Those are Princess Leia's baby shoes that my mother had bronzed. My mother is Debbie Reynolds, and she had Carrie's baby shoes bronzed. She had my shoes bronzed as well, so the little boy and little girl shoes. And so she kind of liked the slipper thing, so much so that one of her favorite movies was The Wizard of Oz. And so she had acquired a pair of the ruby slippers from MGM Studios, back where she worked many, many years ago. If you look carefully, you can see the tags inside and whatnot. Get my hand out of the way, get your shot as well. My mom loved that movie. That was her magical movie. A movie that transported you to a magical place, much like, a movie called Star Wars. So there's these strange parallels that existed when her feet were only that big. Now, if we stay with Debbie and Carrie for a minute, and we're kind of on this side of the room, my mother was famous primarily for a film called Singing in the Rain. That is a 6-sheet poster from Singing in the Rain. It's very rare. I've never seen another one like it, and I've been collecting posters for 40 some odd years. This is Debbie's costume from Singing in the Rain. In fact, there's a picture in there. I don't know if this is open, but I have also Debbie's script from Singing in the Rain. So this is the original script, and we can actually find a picture in here. Here's even the production notes where they're deciding what name to call Debbie's character. So this script is extremely rare. Now there she is in her little raincoat outfit, but the thing we're looking for right now is the picture of the costume that's behind us. So I'll bring that up real quick. It'll take me a second to locate it. Oh, Sid Charisse. Some awesome people in this movie. If you've never seen this movie and you only watch new movies, you will love Singing in the Rain. It's the ultimate musical because it's a movie about making a musical. So the singing is all very justifiable. There's this little picture here of my mother popping out of the birthday cake. And there over my shoulder is the actual costume from the film. That costume was actually saved by me, not my mother. She didn't care about her costumes. She would have been like, that's no big deal. I'm like, yeah, that's a big deal. So I saved several of her costumes. Now sitting down at the bottom, not having anything to do with it, is a pretty cool item as well. That's Vivian Lee's hat from Gone with the Wind. And there's a scene in the movie where Vivian Lee makes an outfit to go visit Rhett Butler in prison, and she makes her dress, and her mammy, Hattie McDaniels was the big black mammy. They make this dress out of the curtains so that she'll look classy when she goes and visits Rhett and tries to hit him up for some cash to save Tara. If you haven't seen that movie, there's the poster up there. You should see that movie. It's hard to believe that you have never seen some of these films, but I'm surprised sometimes how many people haven't. But those are awesome movies. That's a pretty major epic film. Again, pretty major favorite film of my mom's. That's why she collected things from it. She knew David O. Selznick, who was the producer, and people involved in those movies. Other cool stuff in this thing. Well, come over here. So a lot of things that people say, they say, wow, is that Oscar really that heavy? You know, I've heard that one a million times. Even people walk out on stage and all that. So we're going to use her as the guinea pig.
I had no idea this was going to happen.
That's right. So this is Debbie's Oscar. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award. Very rare thing to get. They didn't give that many. So now you can react as many people do.
That is really heavy.
There you have it. It's not BS. What you see on the Academy Awards is all
have to hold it with two hands.
heavy.
It's like a support thing that has to happen.
It truly is. But that is the ultimate award, and Debbie never got one until much later in her life. She got nominated for the Unsinkable Molly Brown on multiple levels, but that award came later in life as a Lifetime Achievement Award, and part of the award was given for her preservation of Hollywood history in the collecting department. And that's kind of what this channel is all about, is collecting. So finding and preserving pieces of history is important. And even recreating moments of history, which is what these folks do so well, is important. And so it was part of my mother's life, and that's why I'm here with you all. So that award connects right back to everything we've been talking about. So another kind of cool thing about the movies is, you know, you all have your favorite films, and certain things turn you on and certain things don't. My mother had things that turned her on. We talked about the Ruby Slippers, but she loved the movie The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart, Peter Lorre, and part why she loved it is this is what's called in the movie business a Macguffin. So it's a prop in a movie where it's a central pivotal thing going on in the movie that relates to an object. So not all movies have MacGuffins. It's rare when you have one this prominent. But the bird was truly the ultimate MacGuffin. And what's more important about this movie, it's probably more famous than the bird or the movie, is the line that Humphrey Bogart delivers to everybody. And we should all remember this line because to me it's like the ultimate line for every movie. And when Humphrey Bogart is asked, what is that thing? He says beautifully, it's the stuff that dreams are made of. And he delivers the line with poise and grace. And isn't that what all things are about in the movies? They're about the dreams. These things, these collectibles are the stuff that dreams are made of. Okay, so having said all that, we got to move quickly back to Carrie. We're going to pass through thousands of years of film history, well, hundreds anyway, and we're going to come back quickly to Carrie's stuff because we have some other cool things here. Probably one of a fun thing is this is a fun collectible. Now, you know, you're all familiar with these toys that are out there. These are pretty valuable these days. This is an original 1977 Carrie Princess Leia, whatever you want to call it, miniature toy. But later they came and made Carrie one for her little dog, Gary. So this is a very cool thing. They never released this. This is a mock-up for Carrie, so to speak, for Gary for Carrie, of Carrie for Gary for Carrie.
And Carrie did that on purpose, right? Naming her dog Gary?
That was an accident. Carrie was brilliant at naming things. But anyway, so her Star Wars stuff, these are replicas of some of her guns. There's her Medal of Yarman. There's gold coins. There's her ring from later on. Her nomination for a Grammy, the AFI award. Most importantly, because I know we have to wrap up, is the Star Wars scripts that my mother had rebound. And they're really cool because they're signed to Carrie from George. May the Force be with you. And these are all the script change pages. You can see the colors represent different changes in motion. When the script begins, it's white. As we go along, we start adding different colored pages for every time we change a thought. This movie had a lot of thought changes. So pretty cool to have her scripts. Here's a little script called Postcards from the Edge. That was Carrie's script on set. She obviously wrote the book, which we have somewhere around here. Kind of a cool artifact here. First slate from the first film that Carrie and I did together. This is our first semi-sophisticated movie called You're You. Carrie wrote the music and the script. I produced with Josh Donnan, Stanley Donnan, director of Singing in the Rain's son. Kind of ironic, with me being the other I was the producer and the camera operator. So this was, my mother saved that. Carrie and I didn't even care. We were like, whatever. Now we care. 1,000 years later. How much time do we have before I have to?
We have time for the dress.
The dress? Okay, so my mother wanted to try to collect stuff, you know, and preserve things. So she would go out of her way to try to find or get what she could. Not everything is available. A lot of times things are gone. So occasionally, you know, things could be had. My mother went out of her way to get a dress of Carrie's. You know, she went out just quickly to the right. That's Carrie's first dress ever performing on stage in Las Vegas. And there's cool pictures of her in that. So here's the kind of, you know, this is her first big movie. This is her first stage debut. And of course, this is her most famous outfit of all, the gold bathing suit, which actually was made out of fiberglass and very uncomfortable, at least Carrie says so, and I've seen it. So it's not gold, but they did call it the gold bikini. So that's a few things, except this is her chair, and so this is
great.
from Empire, and it's kind of a cool thing to say these little things to remember the moments.
All right.
So that's our quick wrap up on collectibles here. There's lots more to go. We can do another 3.5 hours.
Absolutely. But again, thank you so much.
Thanks.
I want to give you a
Yes.
hug. May the force be with you.
The fourth is strong with you.
Yes. Oh, that means so much to me coming from a force strong family.
That's right.
Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show. Bye.